Hey, how's it going, everyone? So, today I figured I want to kind of step back just a little bit and talk about some horror films that maybe, like, if you just want to, like, dip your toes into the water of horror and see what it's all about, I would suggest these types of movies. They're not really, like, scary per se, but they are still considered horror. And it's, I would say, like, good stepping stones for uh, someone who's trying to get into horror itself. And what I did was too is I made sure like to kind of mix different genres. I feel like slasher is going to be kind of heavy in this, um, but I also tried to do different decades. So there's going to be some older ones in here, and I've got like five that I can go through. Um, So to start off with a newer ish one, Happy Death Day. This is one of those films where it's a PG-13 horror, so the gore factor, if you will, and the blood is pretty tame for the most part. So if you're kind of squeamish, then you don't have to worry about that. In this film, it's, I guess the best way to describe it is it's about a girl who wakes up and it's the same day over and over and over again. And she keeps getting killed at the end of each day. And she's just got to figure out how to get out of this loop. It's Groundhog Day for horror. That's basically what it is. But yeah, Jessica Roth does a great job. Israel Broussard also great performances from both of them. And I would also suggest if you like this, watch the sequel as well, because the sequel is, I wouldn't say as strong as the first one, but it's definitely a film that you can watch if you want to close out the films. It's only two of them, so it'll be pretty easy. All right, moving on to the next one. Hello? There we go. All right, Jaws. 1975, the very first summer blockbuster. I can't really say bad things about this film. I feel like if even if you're getting into horror for the first time, you've probably seen this. But if you haven't, it's great. It's about a killer shark. How much more cooler can that be? I would say though, the only thing um, is like right now during this time of year, perfect. I mean, good time to watch it if you're starting in horror because it's summer. It's not summertime, anything like that, so you have nothing to worry about. I do, however, want to say if you live near the ocean, um, I would say kind of just be aware of this film if you live near the ocean. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's a classic. I mean, can't really beat Jaws. All right, moving on. Next one. Okay, so this one is important for this list because it brings together the Universal monsters, essentially. So this film was about a group of kids and a whole bunch of the big five Universal monsters come into their town and they have to basically fend them off. It's Goonies with Universal monsters mixed together, essentially. It came out in '87. It's also a horror comedy, so if you enjoy comedies and you want to check out some creepier horror stuff, then hey, this is definitely the film that you need to check out for sure. It's entertaining from start to finish. There's some things that maybe haven't aged as well as others, but for the most part, it's it's a very solid '80s flick for sure. The monsters are great in this film. I can't really say too much. I don't want to spoil it too much. I would say some of the monsters might creep people out more than others, for sure. But at the same time, The creepiness factor gets kind of dulled down. Um, I would say in a good way, and that you have these pretty scary characters and creatures, but then also they're mixing in comedy and funny lines and stuff like that. So I mean, it's lighthearted. It's just a great film. Okay, Psycho. So this I feel like is a sort of must for anyone who is getting into horror. Um, it's a classic 1960 Hitchcock. I mean, what more could you ask for? I don't know if I want to say that this is Hitchcock's best. If I'm being honest, I do enjoy Rear Window a lot. The Birds is pretty damn good too, and I would say like you guys could easily watch like Rear Window is another one I would suggest by Hitchcock. Um, like I said, The Birds is definitely another one you could watch. It's interesting for sure. But yeah, Psycho. There's not much more I need to say about this film. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, it's probably uh in my top. It's in my maybe like top 15. I don't think it's top 10 for me personally, but it's a good one. And the last one. So this one, hold on. Let me just do that. Okay. So this one is interesting, right? I put Get Out on here for one reason, and that I want to put it here because I feel like it's sort of the next stepping stone, but also if a person hasn't really watched horror films and they decided to watch this, I don't really think they're going to be too scared because it's more psychological horror than it is horror itself. And like the comedy that they're putting here, it's light, but it's there. Um, I feel like his conversations with his friend is definitely where the comedy really shines the most. Um, but yeah, Get Out, one of those films where I feel like anyone who watches horror needs to see it if they haven't. But I would say, like go through. I would say at least watch Happy Death Day and the sequel if you want first, and then maybe like the Monster Squad, just to kind of ease yourself in. But I honestly, let me re-say that. I'd say Happy Death Day and then Psycho. I'd say watch those two films before going into Get Out, um, because Get Out can definitely be scary at times, for sure. But then there's other moments where, like I said, where he's talking to his friend. Uh, it's a lot of comedic lines there. And yeah, and also since it is psychological, I would say if you're going into it blind, just don't overthink anything. Just, I would say, watch the film and enjoy it. And then, maybe go on YouTube and watch like a review or two on it. Because usually when you watch a review, the people who are reviewing the film will kind of explain certain things that maybe you missed. But yeah, those are my five for sure. So Happy Death Day, and I would say the sequel definitely a good first choice. Jaws for the, I guess, 70s blockbuster sort of flick that's also decent, or that's also very good. The Monster Squad, I feel like this is for sort of like really light horror. Like I would say this film is probably the lightest horror in this bunch of films. Psycho, definitely just, I would say watch it. I don't think anyone's really going to get scared. And then Get Out, like I said, ease yourself in with a couple horror films before this one. Uh, but if you really like want to scare yourself, then go for it. Just watch this film first before the other ones, and I think you'll get a good scare. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm trying to get videos out probably once every 3 days. So at least, I'd say at least 3 times a week on uploads, maybe 4. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.